son's 25 and my daughter's 21.
So will your son work at that level to get these films shown in schools? Do you think that will be his role and how he carries on?
Well, as a father of these two children, I'm really happy to say my daughter did still photography that appears in the film, and my son edited the trailer for the film. They're both really talented and wonderfully rounded, beautiful children. And my son is actually also working on The Dark Knight Rises, the new Batman movie, with the visual effects department. He's on his way to Los Angeles right now.
And you're in this film?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so let me just tell you, if you haven't gone to the IMAX in Des Moines, you've only been here 30 seconds, but you have to get over to the IMAX. They are showing Mission Impossible, but Dark Knight is the preview, premiere,
yeah.
all right? So I saw it the other day. Okay, that looks awesome.
It is.
I mean, and from a woman, I mean, I'm not a guy flick movie. I did watch Full Metal Jacket, I'll give you that. But I'm not a shoot 'em up, bang 'em up kind of movie goer. But I really think that movie's going to be something.
Yeah.
Was it fun?
It was unbelievable. I mean, there's so many incredible people working on the film to begin with. You know, from Morgan Freeman. Morgan Mason's James Mason's son. He's a good friend of mine. Sorry, Morgan. Morgan Freeman, Christian Bale, Anne Hathaway, Marion, Cotillard, Christian Bale. So every day when you came to work, you know, like who's going to be on the set today, and who am I going to spar with? So that was a great pleasure. And Christopher Nolan is just, I think, arguably one of the most brilliant, innovative filmmakers in the business today. He's just a genius.
So you're playing Nixon. Tell me, who's Nixon? What is his
well,
character? Come on, just something.
I'm not allowed to discuss the contents of that film. You're not going to make me.
Well, they're all videotaping you. Of course you're not going to tell me now.
I had to sign 3 non-disclosure agreements saying that I wouldn't discuss my character, the script, or the events that happened on the film set.
Oh, whatever. Okay, what can you say?
It was a really, really fun shoot, and I saw Christian without the bat cowl, so I am discussing something that he took it off, and his eyes were painted like a raccoon's, and he said, "I'm going to have to kill you now that you've seen me without the hat on."
All right, so
he was really cool. I mean, Christian is a real gentleman, and pleasure to work with.
Can you say why this one is different? I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you why what I saw in the preview that day was different. I can't explain it or at least put it into words. But why is this so different?
Well, first of all, because it's the last one. I think that there's Christian Bale is not going to dress up as Batman anymore, and Christopher Nolan is not going to direct any more Batman movies. So I think that it was really special for that group of people, Gary Oldman and Morgan and Michael Caine, that they were all kind of hanging up their costumes on this one, that this was the last one. So that made it special. But it's funny because I was watching, and I've worked with some really talented directors, from Robert Altman, Stanley Kubrick, Alan Parker, John Schlesinger, Oliver Stone, Spike Lee, and every director is given the same equipment to make a film, the same cameras, the same lenses, the same lights, and it's extraordinary how some directors are able to take that equipment and do something extraordinary with it, something that's beautiful, something that transcends, imagination and time, and becomes something that becomes part of film history. And yet other people take the same equipment and make something that's flat and uninteresting and uncompelling. And I asked Christopher, how do you think, what is it that happens? And he said he had no idea, but he said that he'd never made a bad movie yet, thank goodness, but he wondered if one day when he was watching his dailies, if he would recognize that he was making a bad movie, if it becomes obvious, or do you self-delude yourself and think that everything you do is brilliant?
Wonderful,
and
yeah.
Wonderful, yeah.
And do you think it's possible now that you are in this, you're behind the camera, you're directing, you're writing, you're producing, I mean, is it possible to know, okay, this really stinks, or I have something here? Do you feel that? Is it instinctive?
I think you know, yeah, I think you know.
And what do you think about Jesus Was a Comedy?
There's something about catching lightning in a bottle, and I think that, yeah, I think Jesus Was a Comedy is probably one of the most important short films that I've made.